Hi everyone, welcome back to the podcast. It's exciting to be on here. It is Sunday, and so we are rounding off this weekend and gonna get a jump start on tomorrow. I wanted to hop on here. I know that I have been doing a mental health series with you, and that will definitely continue. But I wanted to talk about something that happened in my personal life, and kind of give you guys some tips and tricks and some insight on this subject. I know that this is a subject that can happen to many people. So today we are going to be talking about projection. So projection is the presentation of an image on a surface. It's one projecting their inner feelings to others. Whenever I think of projection, I think of it in a negative light. Normally when we talk about projection, we see it in relationships between friends, marriages, relationships with girlfriends and boyfriends, relationships with family members. And it happens quite often where somebody feels a certain way, and instead of communicating, they project those feelings onto you. So yesterday, me and my husband were going to drop one of our daughters off at a birthday party. The mom at the birthday party, she is one of my oldest friends. And so I know that this was not intentional of her, but this made me think of the topic of projection. We ended up getting to the birthday party. It was at a huge jump place. And so we walked into the birthday party about 10 minutes early. And we looked everywhere and we couldn't find the birthday party, and I couldn't find her. So I decided to call her and just see if maybe I was missing her in the crowd. And automatically her tone on the phone, and the way that she was talking to me, I could tell that she was stressed. Obviously, she had a lot going on, planning a birthday party, and I'm sure getting everything together, but she was projecting those feelings onto me on the phone conversation. Ultimately, I decided to just get off the phone and kind of dismiss myself from the situation, because in this scenario, like I said, me and her have been friends for many, many years, and I know that this is not something that always occurs. And I could tell that she was flustered. But I know in some cases, because I've been in relationships where people project onto other people and they do it constantly. It's a way for them to cope, to push down their feelings and kind of release that onto someone else. But there can be victims in this scenario. And so today we're going to go through kind of just figuring out what to look for if someone is projecting onto you, and then also how you can in turn react to that. Okay? So I wrote down some examples of projection. So people who project onto other people, and what I'm talking about right now is, people that do this on the norm. People that project onto other people, they create their own version of reality. So whatever is actually going on is not what's going on inside their head. They're kind of flipping things upside down, and man, this can cause a lot of issues. They don't see you as your own person. This is when someone groups people together. So if someone says, all women do this, or all men do this, okay? The third is they expect history to repeat itself. So they're kind of living in the past and not living in that present moment. And they're waiting for a ball to drop. So by projecting, they feel like they're protecting themselves, but in reality, they're hurting the person that they're projecting onto. Fourth is they overreact. This is what happened with me yesterday. Just calling my friend to see if they were at the birthday party yet, and she started to overreact over me just making sure that I wasn't missing her in the crowd or something. Again, like I said, I could tell that she was stressed, and this isn't something that normally happens with her, but this is, you know, what made this pop into my head, and this is why we're on here talking about it. The next is they respond to conflict the same way every time and often play the victim. So again, we're going back to they reverse things, and they expect the same outcome every time. So they're in that victim mentality. The next is they make references to exes or people in their past more often than they should. Again, they're living in the past and they're waiting for history to repeat itself. The next one would be they put up walls to keep people from getting close. So a lot of times these people are closed off. They don't want anyone to get too close to them. They don't want to feel vulnerable. So how do we deal with projection, right? That is the whole point of this video. Knowing someone who constantly projects onto you, and how do we deal with that? First things first, you have to remember that they are the problem and not you. This step is going to help remind you that you are not the guilty party. So be mindful and aware. If you're in a relationship where someone does this to you, you can keep a journal just so that you can go back and see what you wrote down so that you don't question yourself. This is a form of gaslighting, and a lot of times, especially in relationships, we get caught up in it. And it's easy when you're in an argument about something to forget things that we know we were doing correct, or we know we weren't doing anything wrong. So to write it down and to have that and to go back and be able to look at it, you know, you will be able to remind yourself that you are not crazy. So we're going to go over some steps of how to deal with this. So the first step is to not argue or get angry. Obviously, if we do that, the person is going to be on the defense. They're already on the defense. And a lot of times people who do this over and over and over, they almost get a thrill out of seeing it affect you. So we do not want to get angry. We don't want to argue. We want to be calm and collective and kind of take a step back and look at the whole picture of the situation. Another thing we can do is to establish or reestablish boundaries. I made a video a couple videos back about establishing healthy boundaries, and this is just to keep the other person in your life in check, letting them know what you will and will not tolerate. If it gets too bad, ultimately just distance yourself from them. I mean, being around someone who constantly projects is very, very draining, right? And we want to protect our mental health. So just taking a step back, you can always love someone and support someone from a distance, okay? And if people do it constantly or consistently, you're not going to be able to change them. And these people probably will never change. You can also diffuse their assault with genuine care. This goes back to my story. Not everyone is out to get you. Sometimes when people project, we all do it. It is human nature. Doing it over and over and over obviously is not. But sometimes things happen. And so, dealing with it genuinely and caringly, showing the other person that we're there, showing them, hey, if you need anything, I'm here. This can definitely diffuse the situation. Because sometimes someone who is projecting might actually be calling out for help. There are those times that this happens when someone is at their very, very low and they need that support and comfort. Remember though, if it's happening constantly and consistently, this is not something that you should have to deal with. If this is a very rare occasion, then there's other caring ways to handle it. If this is something that's going on in your life all the time, then the examples I gave are ways to help you diffuse the situation or ultimately choose to walk away. If you are dealing with this on a daily basis, this can be completely devastating, right? And this can eventually turn on us. You're going to be walking around questioning yourself 24/7. Am I doing this right? Am I speaking correctly? Should I have been more quiet? Should I have spoke up? And you're going to be walking on eggshells. That is not okay. We do not want you living in a state like that. So if you watched this, I hope the tips that I gave, there's something in there that you can grab, pull out, and it will help you. I know that I've gone through this multiple times in my life. Like I said, I've been in bad relationships. I was in a bad marriage, abusive relationships, and these tips definitely could have helped me. So just remember, you are not the crazy one. Hashtag you are not crazy, okay? And be calm and be aware and keep that journal if you have to, so that you can go back and look at it and you can remind yourself, I'm not the crazy one. I didn't do anything wrong. Thanks for tuning in. I love you all. If you are on the mental health journey with me, I will be posting a video soon. But I'm just glad you guys joined today. Do not forget to like, comment, and follow. I would really appreciate it. And get this mental health awareness out there. I know that we all know someone who is struggling with mental health, and it's just, people who are in those situations, they need help. And that's what we're on here to do, is to help. Thank you all and have a great Sunday evening, and I will see you soon. Bye.